Oh, classic streamer mistake. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the V Heard broadcast. Hope you're doing good today. I am obviously in shambles. It's been a busy couple of
Liars are lying, and they will continue
Oh,
lying
cool,
until
yo.
you believe the lie.
Yeah, thank you, Lantard. You didn't realize you're a sweetheart. Thanks so much for resubscribing. You're pumping blood through the heart of this stream. I had to take yesterday off. I've just been so busy. I think like the show was so intense. It was so stressful. I just like shut right down. I think I've sunk about 25 hours into Mon Bazou. So that's why I wasn't live. I should have went live for the Amber V Heard trial because it was popping off. It was pretty crazy. We're gonna check it out, see it anyways. Looks like good TV. And then we're gonna see the developments in the Uvalde, Texas stuff, which there's been some really weird footage that's been coming out. Did I actually? Sorry. Oh yeah, on Mon Bazou. Oh yeah. Hopefully we can get to it because like my weed farm is up, my maple syrup. Fuck. I'm selling maple syrup by the barrel. I'm souping up my car. I just bought a new engine and I'm like afraid to like kind of take apart the whole thing because it's just gonna put my car out of commission. Oh yeah, in the fantasy world, doing great. In the real world, I'm exhausted. I got a lot of homework to do, but I had a really fun time at improv. I have a really good story. Had a really bizarre scene with this other improver I'd never met before. It was wild. It was such a crazy scene. So hopefully I can hang out with her again. Yeah, hopefully we get through all the news. We're gonna find out about Ontario. Ontario's in shambles. One of the worst elections, I think, in terms of democracy. So see what's going on in Canada. And then yeah, Mon Bazou. I'll show you my farm. Ça va être vraiment cool. Check it out. C'est vraiment le fun. C'est un good time. The thing I love so much about Montreal is like the bilingualism, and so you get like these francisations, Frenchicizations, these anglifications. I don't know how to say it. Where like the language is starting to mix, you get like conversations floating between the two. And the game is teaching me better joual, so you know I can swear better now, which is good. So that's gonna help us later on in the stream. Okay, so let's. Oh yeah, and Critical Ace Theory followed. Look at that, everybody. It's another solid streamer, very cool person. And yeah, good vibes all around. So let's check this on out. I'm definitely gonna. I think we're gonna start off with the Amber Heard stuff. Just catch that moment. I kind of lost a lot of interest in it. I'm gonna be totally honest. If I could have sunk the hours in, maybe I would have been like, but I don't know. It kind of. Once the incel community started to jump in on Amber Heard, I don't know. It got a little, I don't know. The misogynistic tint started to scare me a little. Listening to an instructor speak fluent French and then say dump truck. Ah, vraiment, elle avait un gros dumper là. Une fesse qui était un gros dump truck en arrière. Sorry, this is stupid. Oh god, oh jeez. I'm horribly unprepared. I don't even have YouTube chat up. I'm sorry, YouTubers. Okay, so I guess I could tell you about the improv scene. So this is so strange. Um, I did. I went to the park to Tam Tams to give a friend some kombucha or SCOBY, and that was really fun and lovely. Good to catch up with a friend, hung out in the park, and then I went to Sunday Night Improv, where there's free improv at Theatre St. Catherine. If you want to check it out in Montreal, it's like from 4 to 6 or whatever, and it's like maybe 4 girls and like 8 dudes. It's like 2 to 1. It's very. It gets to a point where one guy actually says, "Can we fix the gender balance here?" Oh, it's so cringe. And there's this one guy who was doing scenes, and they kept ending in like blood or I shouldn't even say that, like people, like really horrific scenes. Like it just kept on popping up. It was very bizarre. And then I did this one scene with this other woman I hadn't met before, and the thing about improv is that you're always trying to vibe off the other person. And the first scene we did, it was a lot of just like talking, a lot of like jokes with the letter J, and it was a bit all over the place. It was fun, but it was kind of meh. And so the workshopper told us to be like, okay, do it again, but try to create a scene, use your bodies, kind of thing. And the point of it, the exercise, was to do a regular scene, try to get to beginning, middle, end in like a minute, and then to do it again, but with an emotion. So the first time we did it, we were like, we ended up being pet detectives? I don't know what they're called. The people who chase after pets and like capture raccoons. And she starts going up this ladder, and she feigns like she's gonna fall, and then she actually does. So I had to fucking catch her. And so I was like catching this beautiful woman in my arms. And then we continue the scene, and I'm like still trying to wrap my head around that, and then we have to do the same scene twice over, and the second time it's with horror, so we're like, oh god, oh no, and when she falls it's like, oh no, oh jeez. So I had to catch her again, and then we did the scene again. We had to do the same scene 3 times, and so like I kid you not, there's like this girl I'm like absolutely crushing on, and literally falling into my arms repeatedly. Oh man, it was a mind fuck. It was very much a something that only happens at improv. It's kind of that like you're really trying to trust in others. And yeah, don't make fun of me. Pet detectives are a thing. It's a real job. Oh yeah, and the first scene we did that was kind of meh. We started off as a married couple, and she started that off by hugging me, and I'm just like, damn girl, this is like a lot of physicality after like three years of COVID. And to make things even funnier, at least for me, I got there late, and I'm like all sweaty from the fucking sweaty and oily. Literally have oil on my hands that I didn't wash off. I'm like a fucking grease monkey who works as a mechanic during the day just because my chain fell off. So I get there sweaty and fucking sticky. I do not feel sexy at all. And I kid you not, one dude actually, it was the weird guy. It was the weird guy who kept having very strange things in his scenes. He wanted to make a point of it about the importance of not touching the other improver that you're working with without like consent or asking them or whatever. And I'm just thinking like, yeah, dude, you probably should not be like all over some person that you've never met in a scene because they're kind of captured by the stage and they want to play along in whichever role they've been cast. So if I'm married to you and you hug me, then yeah, I'm supposed to hug you back. And here, this woman's just like breaking all these rules immediately. Anyways, it was a romp. It was an absolute romp. I'm hoping to do that again with her. You know, there's quite the energy there. But we're gonna move on to just get away from the scene and start crying. I had an sensory overload. Just, man, I was freaking out from handshakes earlier. Just like, oh my god, fucking COVID's broken me. Okay, everybody, let's get to the Amber Heard trial. It is important news that we must cover. The algorithms demand it. So we're gonna go do that. Alrighty. skip ahead.
Violence and faced our crime. That question. The statement was made or published by Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. Question. This
is important.
Sexual violence, Ms. Heard.
Okay, I think this is it. The quality is bumpkiss. Don't tell me this is 720. Okay, I'm gonna look for...
All right, Mr. Foreperson, is this the verdict of the jury? Yes. All right, is it unanimous?
Oh, they got it down to the 10 minutes. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Sorry, that's better. Oh yeah, and I think I might quit my job. Okay. So I can focus on the stream. Make some quality content. Figure out my emotes.
All right,
Get my
Mr.
banner going.
Foreperson, is this the verdict of the jury?
Yes.
All right, is it unanimous?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Jamie?
In civil case number CL 2019-2911, Mr. Depp's claim against Ms. Heard. 1. As to the statement appearing in the online op-ed entitled, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. In the Washington Post online edition, quote,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think I made the decision yesterday. In my mind, the resolve.
I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change, end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Has Mr. Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence that question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes.
That one's easy.
Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp. Answer, yes.
That's
Question,
interesting.
the
That's
statement
wild.
was false. Answer, yes.
Wow.
Question, the statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp. Answer, yes. Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard. Answer, yes.
Yikes.
Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp.
Dang.
Answer, yes.
Dang.
Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes.
Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's the part I'm surprised by. Holy shit. Actual malice? What about our First Amendment? My opinion on this trial changed completely. I was wrong, but I know most disagree. Oh, tell me more, Fairy. I mean, my opinion hasn't changed terribly much. I mean, they both kind of suck. Amber Heard has said some stuff on the stand that directly conflicts with experts who have no stake in the matter. Johnny has done some shit, and we know he has. He has physically abused her at least once, like on the airplane. But to me, the real story, and the one that I've always kind of held on to in my gut, is the algorithms, is the social media push. Is this just the OJ trial of our generation? We're just all tapped into it culturally, organically? Or is it just fucking there's some Cambridge Analytica behind this, just pumping our synapses with this drama?
As to the statement appearing...
Honestly, this is going to radically change now that I think about it. Like all those People magazines and US Weekly and all the like celebrity gossip, they're looking at law and crime and being like, how do we get those numbers? How do we game the algorithms? How do we, like, that's going to be the next, I think the next push. It's got to be for video. Print is dead.
In the op-ed entitled, a transformative moment for women in the Washington Post print edition and the online op-ed, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change, in the Washington Post online edition. Quote, then 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out, end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Has Mr. Depp proven by...
Sorry, my olfactory system is completely overwhelmed. Let's see here. I love hearing about opinions changing. She has most evidence than most abusers, but somehow it's more likely she's faking everything, including with friends, and a huge hoax over years, instead of Johnny just being an abuser. Lol. Definitely a social media push. Right. Well, some of the pieces that don't make sense were like her making claims about you must be Canadian, Fairy. You're apologizing so much. No, the claims that stood out to me were the ones where she described like a broken nose or a black eye or injuries to the face, and her friend who was a nurse like did a report and didn't report, and that wasn't in any of the notes, and that to me is very, very unusual. And also like the story about wine outside the apartment. There's just like a couple things where it's like, okay, that's a bit sussy. It's a bit, what you described is running directly counter with much more reliable evidence. So I'm like, okay, I don't think I totally believe her characterizations. Plus, like her saying on the clip, like, who's gonna believe you, Johnny? Like that's such a damning clip, and it was generally what was going around years ago, like 2, 3, 4 years ago. I remember coming across it on Reddit, was like, you know, like Johnny Depp, and maybe they were planting the seeds early. You know, maybe Johnny Depp knew this would be a social media campaign from the start, a court of because I mean it's First Amendment in America. Like I think everyone's surprised that Johnny. Well, let's get there.
Greater weight of the evidence.
You know,
that question, the statement was made or published.
She could be exaggerating some or faking emotion, but for example, a marriage counselor said she saw the bruise but wasn't let in. I don't know about that nuance, so forgive me for that. Why wasn't she let in? That's important, because sometimes evidence is not admissible, in which case it's not admissible. It's not like doesn't meet a particular standard of consideration. So I'm not sure about that one. We also saw some pretty, to me, I think Amber has lots of evidence on her side for being in an extremely abusive, toxic relationship. Johnny, clearly not a good catch. But her legal team screwed up. They mishandled it. They should not have lost this. Hearsay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hearsay. I think it's one of those, hearsay is like one of those things that like I think laymen will struggle to grasp, and lawyers will have like a very deep understanding of it, because it has all sorts of different contortions and applications and like conditions and stuff like that. That's what I kind of took away. It was just how little I understood about particular legal proceedings. Well, honestly, but when we were watching it, some of it was ridiculous. Like even her own lawyer getting Amber's name wrong. Come on, that's fucking wild. So I don't know. Like I just thought her lawyers just mucked up.
By Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp. Answer, yes.
I mean, that's what a lot of people were saying from the start would happen. Like, that this was not a play for the real court, it was a court of public opinion, and hence all the discussion about like social media gaming and stuff like that. But to see Johnny win, now we got to ask about like what the hell happened legally? Like how did her lawyers mess this up?
Question, the statement was false. Answer, yes. Question, the statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp. Answer, yes. Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp. Answer, yes. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes.
Okay, again, I just cannot believe he passed that high bar. Clear and convincing evidence that she acted with malice, that she didn't do it as like for any other reason. That I still raise an eyebrow at that. Like, why is there not the possibility that she, I guess it's because I still struggle to understand that. I still struggle to understand that. Like, it can, even if you're an abusive partner, like they're both abusing each other, let's say, which seems that's kind of where I'm falling down. They're trapped in a toxic relationship, and she gave as good as she got. Like that bottle throwing incident, pretty out there. But what I don't understand is, can't she write an op-ed about that and it still be true information? That's what I don't understand. When I quit my job, you should do it like Brian or Scarface. No, these are people I've spent 4 years working with. I'm gonna try to maintain bridges, not burn them. I am a peacemaker, not a fire starter. I'm sorry.
3. As to this statement, appearing in the op-ed entitled "A Transformative Moment for Women" in the Washington Post print edition, and the online op-ed, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change, in the Washington Post online edition.
Oh my God, those words. And I faced our culture's wrath. Oh, see, this is why we're going to cover this and then we're going to move on, because I am very worried about, like, I don't know, like a Gamergate 2.0 spawning off of this bullshit.
Quote, I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse, end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Has Mr. Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence that question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes. Question, the statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes.
Wow, crazy,
Question,
man.
the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes.
She's
Question,
responsible.
due to circumstances surrounding the publication of this statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp? Answer, yes.
Who is going to hire any of these people?
Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes. As against Amber Heard, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $10 million.
Woo!
As against Amber Heard, we, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $5 million.
Bro.
In civil case number CL 2019-2911, Ms.
That's a pretty coin.
Heard's claim against Mr. Depp. 1. As to this statement, appearing in the April 8, 2020 online edition of the Daily Mail, quote, Amber Heard and her friends in the media use fake sexual violence allegations as both a sword and shield, depending on their needs.
Wow,
They
that's
have
bad.
selected some of her sexual violence hoax facts as the sword, inflicting them on the public and Mr. Depp. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, no.
No, I'm sorry, fucking what?
2. As to this statement, appearing in the April 27, 2020 online edition of the Daily Mail, Quote, quite simply, this was an ambush, a hoax. They set Mr. Depp up by calling the cops, but the first attempt did not do the trick.
Like, that sounds pretty defamatory. And it's in the Daily Mail.
The officers came to the penthouses, thoroughly searched and interviewed, and left after seeing no damage to face or property. So Amber and her friends spilled a little wine and roughed the place up, got their story straight under the direction of a lawyer and publicist, and then placed a second call to 911. End quote.
Yikes. Yikes.
Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements
Imagine writing all that up and putting into print and being like, yes, this will make things better.
of defamation? Answer, yes.
Okay.
Has Ms. Heard proven by a greater weight of the evidence that question, Mr. Waldman, while acting as an agent for Mr. Depp, made or published the statement? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. Question, the statement was seen by someone other than Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. Question,
She doesn't
the
even
statement
care.
was false. Answer, yes. Do you find that Ms. Heard has
Wow.
proven by clear and convincing evidence that the statement by Mr. Waldman was made with actual malice? Answer, yes.
Okay. So that's at least some balance. I don't know.
3. As to this statement appearing in the April 27th, 2020 online edition of the Daily Mail, quote, we've reached the beginning of the end of Ms. Heard's abuse hoax against Johnny Depp, end quote. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, no.
Wow.
As against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $2 million.
Holy
As
shit.
against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $0.
Wow.
Does either
So he got 5 times the payout. He got 10, she got 2?
side wish to have the jury polled?
Yes, Your Honor.
Bro.
Jamie?
Members of the jury, if this is your verdict, please answer yes. If
Oh,
this
yay,
is not
oh,
your
yay.
verdict, please answer no. Juror number 6. Juror number 10.
Yes.
Juror number 15.
Yes.
Juror number 16.
Yes.
Juror number 22. Juror number 27. Juror number 29.
Yes.
All right, I do find that the jury's verdict is unanimous. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes your service in this case. I want to thank you again for your dedication and your hard work during this trial, and I know I speak for everybody here when I tell you that we appreciate your sacrifices and your time and your public service in this matter, okay? So I'm going to have you go back to the jury deliberation room for one more time, and then we'll release you from there, okay? All right, thank you.
Okay. I think that's kind of where my interest ends. That's it. That's it. I mean, there was like other crazy stuff. There's that one dude who had like really weird facial reactions, but other than that, like, I don't know. If I had the time for it, it could have been interesting. I don't know. I know that Asmongold like hit like 400,000 or something crazy last night, was it? Oh gosh, 2 days ago? Time is just racing past me. Okay, we're moving on. We're moving on, oh god, to Uvalde. There's been a couple developments. Let's start off with, I think, one of the more weird and shocking. Republican congressman blames mass shootings on women having rights. Everybody, you hear that? You stop exercising your right to life, I guess. According to Representative Billy Long, abortions, not guns, are the problems. We are quick descending. Down we go. Down we go into the third circle of hell. This is Vanity Fair, Best 11. I think we've read Best 11's pretty good. We don't need this. Oh god. Oh jeez. All right, let's do this. In a sane country that actually valued human lives, last week's mass shooting in Texas, or the one before that in Buffalo, or thousands before that in the years prior, would have marked the moment the elected officials who've refused to pass gun control legislation looked in the mirror and decided to stop being part of the problem. Unfortunately, the US is not a sane country, and instead of actually doing something to prevent those atrocities from occurring all the time, in case you missed it, there have been 17 mass shootings since Uvalde, Texas. What? Sorry, what? "13 dead, 70 injured. Oh my. 14 occurred over Memorial Day weekend. 230 this year? Ah! Yo, this has gone from... Yeah, this has gone... Did I see Laura Ingraham blame mass shootings on states legalizing marijuana? No. But we will. Oh, yeah, they're going to start... This is where they're reaching for straws. Oh, I've been seeing some pretty scary stuff, to be honest. Yeah, things are heating up way faster than I would have liked. But hey, I'm Canadian, you know. Unfortunately, okay, so yeah, 17 mass shootings since Uvalde, Texas. Instead of actually doing something, Republicans have launched a competition in which they duke it out to see who can come up with the most ridiculous thing to blame mass shootings on besides guns. So far, that's included too many doors, not enough God, pot, there's your pot one, Laura Ingraham, single moms, JD Vance, of course, unarmed teachers, and schools being designed without tripwires and man traps. Blaming porn and violent video games? I mean, is he wrong?
It was initially reported that he was a user. In fact, he got angry that his grandmother and his mother didn't want him to use marijuana. But again, we don't know more. It was just...
Guys. Girls. MBs.
just mysteriously taken out of an article in the New York Times. But why aren't people in general not talking more about the pot psychosis, violent behavior connection?
I'm getting that pot psychosis.
Well, that's a very good question, Laura.
Good question, everybody. That is a very good question. Thank you for bringing that up. How about unarmed teachers?
Surely we can all agree our schools should not be the softest target. Our schools should be the single hardest target in our country.
Okay. Get hard. Get good, scrubs.
And that's why
He's literally saying to teachers, get good, scrubs.
as part of a comprehensive school safety plan, it's time to finally allow highly trained teachers to safely and discreetly concealed carry.
Yeah, teachers are already highly trained in teaching. It's a profession.
Let them concealed carry. Even if every decent and honest American gave up their guns, the criminals would never give up theirs, and they never will. They're never going to give up theirs. They would wreak havoc like never before in our country. The fact is, there will always be sick and demonic souls who wish to harm the innocent and see malice triumph over good. Going to have that. But the existence of evil in our world is not a reason to disarm law-abiding citizens who know how to use their weapon and can protect a lot of people.
Oh, this is so scary.
The existence of evil is one of the very best reasons to arm law-abiding citizens.
Bro, make it stop. Make it stop. Okay. That's very bad, not good. Obviously, the competition to be a right-wing reject is fierce. But that didn't scare Missouri Representative and Senate candidate Billy Long, who rolled up to Wednesday's interview with a local radio station with, and excuse the phrase, though we assume he'll appreciate it, the big guns. Okay, that was a bit long-winded of a joke. Asked by host Brandon Rathert what is with this writing? Is there any appetite in DC amongst Republicans to look at doing some things differently as it relates to guns? Long responded that no one has been able to come up with any kind of suggestion that would have helped in any of these situations. Fact check, false. And that's such a lib article. And that passing gun control measures is not the solution to the epidemic of gun violence. So yeah, like, this is...
To my knowledge, none of those shootings were done with any kind of Armalite rifle or AK or anything like that. So it's a systemic problem. When I was growing up in Springfield, you had 1 or 2 murders a year. Now we have 2, 3, 4 a week in Springfield, Missouri. So something has happened to our society, and
Gosh, it's almost as if culture and policy might be some of the pillars of society. I don't know.
I go back to abortion when we decided it was okay to murder kids in their mother's wombs. Life has no value to a lot of these folks.
Life has no value to a lot of these folks. You hear the dehumanization going on there? That's the part I just keep noticing. That's cropping up over and over and over again. So in response to Uvalde, New York passes bill raising age to buy and own semi-automatic rifles. New York's legislature voted Thursday to ban anyone under age 21 from buying or possessing a semi-automatic rifle, a major change to state firearm laws pushed through less than 3 weeks after an 18-year-old used one of the guns to kill 10 people at a supermarket in Buffalo. The bill raising the age limit is the most significant part of a package of gun control measures announced earlier this week by Democratic legislative leaders and Governor Kathy Hochul. Other new legislation will restrict civilian purchases of bullet-resistant armor, which was worn by the killer in Buffalo, and require new guns to be equipped with micro-stamping technology that can help law enforcement investigators trace bullets to particular firearms. The age limit bill passed the Senate along party lines, 43-20, and in the Assembly, 102-47, and will now head to Hochul's desk for her signature. You already have to be 21 to possess a handgun in New York. Younger people would still be allowed to buy rifles and other shotguns, but they can have these types of rifles and shotguns, but to buy the type of fast-firing rifles used by the 18-year-old, they would be restricted. Okay. And I think there was also... in Canada, government tables bill to limit handguns, pledges to buy back assault-style weapons. It won't help much. That's what I thought. It was just like you just cross the border, right? That's always been the problem.
For the Liberals,
state laws are
today's
ineffective.
bill is an election promise fulfilled.
As we see gun violence continue to rise, it is our duty to keep taking action.
Is gun
The
violence rising
legislation
in
would
Canada?
increase penalties for gun smuggling and trafficking, introduce a red flag law so individuals considered a threat to themselves or others surrender firearms to police, and implement a national freeze on the sale, importation, and transfer of handguns. Some municipalities had wanted a handgun ban. Today, they got a freeze on handgun ownership.
Okay, I think I found the stats. Firearm-related violent crime declined 33% from 2009 to 2013, reaching its lowest point in recent years. The downward trend stopped in 2013, and since then, it has gone up 42%. Wow. Between 2013 and 2017, 16 of Canada's census metropolitan areas saw increases in the rate of firearm-related violent crime, including 7 of the 10 largest. I know that, like in Montreal, that's, I think, pretty true. Of note, 43% of the national increase since 2013 is due to more victims in Toronto. Each year since 2009, about 6 in 10 firearm-related violent crimes involved handguns. No shot. And this is from StatsCan. So I'm curious. Can we see? It doesn't put Montreal on here? Oh, gosh darn it. Excludes Quebec? Oh, come on. What the fuck? In Canada, there were 130 homicides committed using a handgun in 2016, the most since 2005. These accounted for 21% of homicides overall and 58% of shooting homicides. Since 1996, handguns have been used in 16 to 21% of homicides each year, except for 1998. In the United States, there were 7,000 using a handgun. These accounted for 47% of all homicides. Okay, that's very interesting, actually. I didn't know that.
In many discussions with those municipalities. It became clear that
He just threw red meat to the hogs? Like Trudeau? Oh yeah, this is red meat for the base, for sure, for sure.
they didn't feel like they had the ability or the tools to do that. But we made a commitment to Canadians that
Libs defending like property and homes. Like, come on, yeah, for sure. Law and order, yeah, of course.
we were going to take real, concrete steps to strengthen gun control.
Natalie Provost is a survivor of the 1989 Polytechnique shooting. She applied.
I mean, like, misogyny is a real problem. All of these shooters, like, they seem to hate women, and they're doing bad things.
Odds the move toward a federal freeze.
We will have the same legislation for all Canadians. So I'm very happy for this very good first step today.
Okay. If she's happy, I guess I'm
But
happy.
this
I mean, if
Edmonton
she's-
gun store owner says the handgun freeze goes too far and will
Oh.
affect his livelihood.
That's
Oh,
about
no.
40 to 60% of my business.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, not the gun manufacturers and sellers. Dude.
So now I have to figure out if that is lost revenue. I have to figure out how we move forward, how we potentially grow the business, how I
Rebrand.
keep all my staff employed.
Guns rights
That is a tough situation, my guy.
groups are also concerned that legal gun owners are being unfairly punished.
You're assuming that stopping the legitimate lawful use of the handgun sports in some way is going to reduce crime and violence, because every credible expert on this topic knows it's not.
Citation needed. I love how nowadays everyone just says the same shit. Everyone just says, according to science. Yeah, you know, handgun sports. I actually am struggling to, because even like I guess gun ranges. That's about the only thing I can think of. I don't know what she's referring to, or which experts she's referring to.
Okay, now, Julia, another part of the announcement today was about a mandatory buyback program for assault-style weapons.
Andrew, the program will apply to the more than
Mandatory.
1,500 models and variants of assault-style firearms banned by the government in
Do you coming to take your guns? Conservatives in shambles right now.
2020. In 2021, the government estimated there were roughly 100 to 200,000 of those guns in Canada, though many say that number is low. The government says it's still sorting out the details of the buyback and will consult with industry on compensation, but there's a commitment the program will start before the end of the year. Andrew.
Okay, Julia Wong in Ottawa, thank you.
Like playing cops and robbers? Yeah, exactly. I think, like, I don't know who has handguns except, like, I guess city folk.
Now, for some political analysis, let's bring in
Personal-
Rosie Barton.
Or, like, I guess, like, people really worried about defending their property in the middle of the night. Like, I don't know.
Rosie, let's turn to that handgun freeze, not a ban. What should we take from that?
I think, Andrew, you know, it shows that gun legislation is
Freeze,
very
not a
challenging.
ban.
The Liberals had wanted to put in place a handgun ban for municipalities,
Right.
but it became clear that that was unworkable for cities. They then looked for a solution that would be driven by the provinces, but as the Prime Minister himself said today,
Right.
that didn't fit either.
Interesting.
So given the potential for pushback from various groups, this was really
Right.
as close as the government felt it could get to a ban. But a cap on the
Wow.
number of legal handguns is not a ban, which is what they had promised. It was likely the easiest way, though, to
Interesting.
make this work politically across the country.
See, but this is like kind of where liberals shine, right? They're able to sort of like weave through the political interests and like land somewhere. And it's not always good, and sometimes it's actually kind of bad, but they are able to say to their constituency, we're doing the thing, we're doing a thing, and at least spin the yarn. I think a lot of the problem that NDP has is creating that feedback loop of like, we didn't get what we wanted to, but we damn well fought and got something approximate close to it as best as we could. And the reason that's tough for the NDP is just because like you got like really strong moral values directing leadership, directing the party. So it's tough to be as to compromise.
Right, and what did you make of the timing of this legislation?
Listen, they had a piece of legislation similar to this before the election that died, so this was going to happen, but it was accelerated because of the mass shootings in the United States. The government wants to show it is acting aggressively on guns, but there is also some political opportunity here. The Prime Minister says he wants to get this done quickly, hopes other parties will fast track it too. We know conservatives are very concerned about protecting the rights of legal gun owners in this country. But even here in Canada, the recent shootings in the U.S. will make it more challenging for any party to take issue with some of these measures.
Rosemary Barton in Ottawa. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. All right, moving on. That's all right. Marjorie Taylor Greene is mocked for saying dumb things. Let's listen to her be dumb.
Surveillance on every part of your life.
I think there. Oh God, if we find this full clip, I think there's a bunch of really funny stuff she said.
They want to know when you're eating. They want to know if you're eating a cheeseburger, which is very bad because Bill Gates wants you.
Are you eating cheeseburgers?
That grows in a Peachtree dish.
Wait, what? A Peachtree dish?
That the government totally wants to provide surveillance on every part of your life. They want to know when you're eating. They want to know if you're eating a cheeseburger, which is very bad because Bill Gates wants you to eat his fake meat that grows in a Peachtree dish. So you'll probably get a little zap inside your body, and it's saying no.
Is this like freeze peach? Like freeze peach? I need me my freeze peach.
No, don't eat a real cheeseburger. You need to
I got my freeze peach grown up in my peach tree dish.
eat the fake burger, the fake meat from Bill Gates. They probably also want to know when you go to the bathroom and if your bowel movements are on time or consistent.
Pardon me?
I'd like to carry on
more?
and talk about something that has really been on all of our hearts and minds.
I don't know. I can't signal boost this anti-trans rhetoric. It's dangerous. Marjorie Taylor Greene is one of the people laying the bricks for American fascism, and she scares me at this point. She just straight up scares me. Okay. Biden calls for Congress to ban assault weapons. Oh, they coming to take your guns. Biden called for banning assault weapons and high-capacity magazines in a prime-time address to the nation. Oh, okay. Let's watch that then. Biden addresses nation guns.
Good evening, I'm David Muir, and we're coming on the air at this hour because President...
Evening, here we go.
...asked the number of active shooter incidents growing exponentially over the last 2 decades here in the U.S. Let's listen to the President addressing the nation on the gun violence.
On Memorial Day this past Monday, Jill and I visited Arlington National Cemetery. As we entered those hallowed grounds, we saw rows and rows of crosses among the rows of headstones with other emblems of belief, honoring those who paid the ultimate price on battlefields around the world. The day before, we visited Uvalde, Texas. In front of Robb Elementary School, we stood before 21 crosses for 19 third and fourth graders and 2 teachers. On each cross, a name, and nearby, a photo of each victim that Jill and I reached out to touch. Innocent victims murdered in a classroom that have been turned into a killing field. Standing there in that small town, like so many other communities across America, I couldn't help but think there are too many other schools, too many other everyday places that have become killing fields, battlefields, here in America. We stood at such a place just 12 days before, across from a grocery store in Buffalo, New York, memorializing 10 fellow Americans, a spouse, a parent, a grandparent, a sibling, gone forever. At both places, we spent hours with hundreds of family members who were broken, whose lives will never be the same. They had one message for all of us: do something. Just do something. For God's sake.
Oh God, not again. Not again. We have to go through this bullshit one more time. Oh no. When was the last time we heard people screaming at politicians, just do something? Yeah, and then like all the people who are politically aware in the room are subconsciously aware that they can't do anything. Their hands are tied, that the political system is completely broken. Oof.
Do something.
Oof.
After Columbine, after Sandy Hook, after Charleston, after Orlando, after Las Vegas, after Parkland, nothing has been done.
Nope.
This time that can't be true. This
Like
time
in a
we must
decade?
actually do something. The issue we face is one of conscience and common sense. For so many of you at home, I want to be very clear. This is not about taking away anyone's guns. It's not about vilifying gun owners. In fact, we believe we should be treating responsible gun owners as an example of how every gun owner should behave. I respect the culture and the tradition and the concerns of lawful gun owners. At the same time, the Second Amendment, like all other rights, is not absolute. It was Justice Scalia who wrote, and I quote, "Like most rights, the rights granted by the Second Amendment are not unlimited. Not unlimited. It never has been. There have always been limitations on what weapons you can own in America. For example, machine guns have been federally regulated for nearly 90 years, and this is still a free country. This isn't about taking away anyone's rights. It's about protecting children. It's about protecting families. It's about protecting whole communities. It's about protecting our freedoms to go to school, to a grocery store, to a church, without being shot and killed. According to new data just released by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, guns are the #1 killer of children in the United States of America. The #1 killer. More than car accidents, more than cancer. Over the last 2 decades, more school-age children have died from guns than on-duty police officers and active-duty military combined.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Just wild.
More kids than on-duty cops killed by guns.
You hear that, everybody? This is like the cops are literally more safe than kids. Amazing.
More kids than soldiers killed by guns.
Amazing.
For God's sake.
That's
how much more carnage are we willing to accept?
A lot.
How many more innocent American lives must be taken before we say enough, enough? I know that we can't prevent every tragedy, but here's what I believe we have to do. Here's what the overwhelming majority of American people believe we must do. Here's what the families in Buffalo and Uvalde in Texas told us we must do. We need to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. And if we can't ban assault weapons, then we should raise the age to purchase them from 18 to 21. Strengthen background checks. Enact safe storage law and red flag laws. Repeal the immunity that protects gun manufacturers from liability. Address the mental health crisis, deepening the trauma of gun violence and as a consequence of that violence.
I don't think any of this is going to happen. Also, checkmate liberals.
It's awesome. How old are you, Maverick? He is 4 years old. Show me what you do with the gun. Do it again. Take the magazine out. Oh,
Checkmate
can you
liberals.
Put it back in? High five.
Ooh, I bet he has good aim.
Whoa.
Bam. Look at that kid go.
Adorable.
Isn't that adorable? What's the saying? Guns are not toys? Isn't that the saying? Isn't the saying guns are not toys? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the saying.
These are rational, common sense measures. Here's what it all means. It all means this. We should reinstate the assault weapons ban on high-capacity magazines that we passed in 1994 with bipartisan support in Congress and the support of law enforcement. 9 categories of semi-automatic weapons were included in that ban, like AK-47s and AR-15s. And in the 10 years it was law, mass shootings went down.
True.
But after Republicans let the law expire in 2004, and those weapons were allowed to be sold again, mass shootings tripled. Those are the facts. A few years ago...
You hear that, everybody? Facts. Can't argue with facts.
The family of the inventor of the AR-15 said he would have been horrified to know that its design was being used to slaughter children and other innocent lives instead of being used as a military weapon on the battlefields, as it was designed. That's what it was designed for. Enough. Enough.
See, Biden just has a closed mind. He just can't imagine schools as battlegrounds. Just open your mind. Use your imagination a little bit, Biden. Yeah. Remember, like, feelings don't care about your facts or something like that?
We should limit how many rounds a weapon can hold. Why, in God's name, should an ordinary citizen be able to
Feels over reels.
purchase an assault weapon that holds 30-round magazines that let mass shooters fire hundreds of bullets in a matter of minutes. The damage was so devastating in Uvalde, parents had to do DNA swabs to identify the remains of their children.
Yeah, I actually
9 and 10-year-old children.
have a hard time even bringing that part up. That's deeply fucked up. Couldn't even do like a visual confirmation of your own child. Like, whoo! I don't know, man. That's another world. That's
Enough. We should expand background checks to keep guns out of the hands of felons, fugitives, and those under restraining orders.
it's hard to
Stronger
process.
background checks are something that the vast majority of Americans, including the majority of gun owners, agree on. I also believe we should have safe storage laws and personal liability for not locking up your gun. The shooter in Sandy Hook came from a home full of guns. They were too easy to access. That's how he got the weapons. The weapon he used to kill his mother and then murdered 26 people, including 20 first graders. If you own a weapon, you have a responsibility to secure it. Every responsible gun owner agrees to make sure no one else can have access to it, to lock it up, to have trigger locks. And if you don't, and something bad happens, you should be held responsible.
We have this pretty. This is pretty common in Canada. Wait, they what? Loud tyrant youth? What'd you miss?
We should also have national red flag laws so that a parent, a teacher, a counselor can flag for a court that a child, a student, a patient is exhibiting violent tendencies, threatening classmates, or experiencing suicidal thoughts. It makes them a danger to themselves or to others. 19 states in the District of Columbia have red flag laws. The Delaware law is named after my son, Attorney General Beau Biden. Fort Hood, Texas, 2009, 13 dead and more than 30 injured. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, 2018, 17 dead, 17 injured.
Oh, she's going through all the hits.
In both places, countless others suffering with invisible wounds. Red flag laws could have stopped both these shooters. In Uvalde, the shooter was 17 when he asked his sister to buy him an assault weapon, knowing he'd be denied because he was too young to purchase one himself. She refused. But as soon as he turned 18, he purchased 2 assault weapons for himself. Because in Texas, you can be 18 years old and buy an assault weapon, even though you can't buy a...
Oh, the DNA. Yeah. It's because I haven't mentioned it. It's a bit too gut, right? It's like, I'm trying not to go hit the bottom, like the 9th circle of hell too fast in a stream. You know, you like see it coming at me really fast. Sometimes I just kind of pull on the brakes and we only hit like the 7th or 8th circle of hell. But we're there. Biden took us there. We'll get out soon as this clip is done.
Pistol in Texas until you're 21. We can't ban assault weapons as we should. We must at least raise the age to be able to purchase one to 21. Look, I know some folks will say 18-year-olds can serve in the military and fire those weapons. But that's with training and supervision by the best trained experts in the world.
Best trained.
Don't tell me raising the age won't make a difference. Enough.
Yeah, like, I think David Hogg made
repeal
the
the
point
liability.
that the shooter in Uvalde waited until it was legal for him to buy the guns. Like, come on.
Shield that often protects gun manufacturers from being sued for the death and destruction caused by their weapons. They're the only industry in this country that has that kind of immunity.
Yeah, that's odd.
Imagine if the tobacco industry had been immune from being sued, where we'd be today.
Yeah.
The gun industry's special protections are outrageous. It must end.
Good luck.
And let there be no mistake about the psychological trauma that gun violence leaves behind. Imagine
Canada is struggling to put in a handgun freeze. Okay? What do you think is going to happen in America?
being that little girl, that brave little girl in Uvalde.
Red flag laws have been on the books in New York for a long, just left to the discretion of the cops to enforce them. Yeah. I think red flags laws are at least like a very minimal protection. You know, like if someone's kind of sussy, you can make police aware. But the thing is that discretionary part of the cops. Like, cops are you know, being revealed as essentially, I don't know, like so much of society's money and I don't know, essence has been poured into policing. It's become a major pillar of society. And now they have so much discretion and power that they're wielding that power indiscriminately. And like, this is why defund the police was like a thing. It's just like they they got it all, everybody, and they can't do it all. So it's like it's two problems in one. You fix two you fix two things at once. By depowering police, by like getting, I don't know, like what is the suggestion, like an 811 number for like social aides and mental health workers, all that kind of stuff.
Who smeared blood off her murdered friend's body on her
God.
own face.
Oh God.
To lie still among the corpses in her classroom and pretend she was dead in order to stay alive.
Yikes.
Imagine what it'd be like for her to walk down the hallway of any school again. Imagine
she won't.
What it's like for children who experience this kind of trauma every day in school, in the streets, in communities all across America.
Yep.
Imagine what it's like for so many parents to hug their children goodbye in the morning, not sure whether they'll come back home. Unfortunately, too many people don't have to imagine that at all. Even before the pandemic, young people were already hurting. There's a serious youth mental health crisis in this country. We have to do something about it. That's why mental health is the heart of my unity agenda that I laid out in the State of the Union address this year. We must provide more school counselors, more school nurses, more mental health services for students and for teachers, more people volunteering as mentors to help young people succeed, more privacy protection and resources to keep kids safe from the harms of social media. This unity agenda won't fully heal the wounded souls, but it will help. It matters. I just told you what I'd do. The question now is, what will the Congress do? The House of Representatives already passed key measures we need.
Exactly.
Expanding background checks to cover nearly all gun sales, including at gun shows and online sales. Getting rid of the loophole that allows a gun sale to go through after 3 business days, even if the background check has not been completed.
Wow.
And the House is planning even more action next week. Safe storage requirements, the banning of high-capacity magazines, raising the age to buy an assault weapon to 21.
You think they'll
Federal
pass
red
any of
flag
it?
law, codifying my ban on ghost guns that don't have serial numbers and can't be traced, and tougher laws to prevent gun trafficking and straw purchases. This time, we have to take the time to do something. And this time,
It's like a dozen proposals.
it's time for the Senate to do something.
Senate's gonna
But
do
as we
nothing.
know,
Joe
in order to
Manchin.
get anything done in the Senate,
Lol.
we need a minimum of 10 Republican senators. I support the bipartisan efforts that include small group of Democrats and Republican senators trying to find a way. But my God, the fact that the majority of the Senate Republicans
fascists.
don't want any of these proposals even to be debated or come up for a vote, I find unconscionable.
No, they need the chaos.
We can't fail the American people again.
They need to
Since
fear.
Uvalde, just over a week ago, there have been 20 other mass shootings in America, each with 4 or more people killed or injured, including yesterday at a hospital in Tulsa, Oklahoma. A shooter deliberately targeted a surgeon using an assault weapon he bought just a few hours before his rampage that left the surgeon, another doctor, a receptionist, and a patient dead and many more injured. That doesn't count the carnage we see every single day.
You know what really surprised me is that Peterson never really hemmed in on this and like described like Republicans as the party of chaos and Democrats as the party of order. Like right now, Democrats are trying to say like law and order, our society is falling apart. Kids aren't safe, are less safe than soldiers. And Republicans know they have the power to just like let the chaos develop and ensue and just like, consume. But unfortunately, Peterson is a right-wing asshole, so he would never understand.
It doesn't make the headlines. I've been in this fight for a long time. I know how hard it is, but I'll never give up. And if Congress fails, I believe this time
You
a
know
majority
what?
of the American people
He won't give up so hard. He'll go for another term.
won't give up either. I believe the majority of you will act to turn your outrage into making this issue central to your vote. Enough, enough, enough. Over the next 17 days, the families in Uvalde will continue burying their dead.
Yikes.
It will take that long in part because it's a town where everyone knows everyone. And day by day, they will honor each one they lost. Jill and I met with the owner and staff of the funeral home.
All right, we're gonna skip on this. Just the last few minutes. Tucker, of course, is saying it's a power grab, but we're gonna skip on that as well. There's some jockeying going around. DeSantis vetoes in Florida $35 million earmarked for the Rays facility, I guess some sports team, after they postured on gun violence. They said this is a $35 million statement, which is why we're looking at it. Gotta love yourselves a pricey statement. Quote, "We all deserve to be safe." Yeah, seems like a pretty good start. In schools, grocery stores, places of worship, our neighborhoods, houses in America. The most recent mass shootings in Buffalo and Uvalde have shaken us to the core. The Tampa Bay Rays are mourning these heartbreaking tragedies that took the lives of innocent children and adults. This cannot become normal. We cannot become numb. We cannot look the other way. We all know if nothing changes, nothing changes. True. Oh wait, during the winter I work in a rural area about an hour south of Buffalo. I know people who have multiple illegal guns and accessories. The gun laws don't matter to the cops there. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, along with the law is the culture of enforcing this particular law compared to that. And increasingly, like, police are just kind of gangs roaming the street, doing whatever they feel is best. The Rays organization stands committed to actionable change and has made a $50,000 commitment to every Town for Gun Safety Support Fund. Every Town is the largest gun violence prevention organization in America. Rather than our usual game coverage on social media tonight, we've partnered with Every Town to amplify facts about gun violence in America. We understand that no single organization can solve this crisis alone, but working together, we can make an impact. We invite you to join us and do what you can, when you can, where you can, because our lives depend on it. And there goes $35 million. Jesus, I can't believe DeSantis punished them for that. That's fucking wild. Crazy. Okay. Now into the Uvalde stuff. This is very strange. This was an interview that CNN got with the Arredondo or something. Arredondo? Pedro Arredondo? This is a strange interview. Play.
Right now, Texas officials say Uvalde School District Police Chief Pedro Arredondo is not responding to requests for another interview in their investigation into the school shooting. He was, of course, the incident commander who made the call to hold off breaching the classroom where all 21 victims were killed.
Oh, also, yeah, if while we're here, make sure to like the YouTube and follow and subscribe, tell a friend. Let's grow the stream. Yeah.
It's a few minutes ago, CNN's Aaron Cooper said that he reached Arredondo, who said he had been in touch with the Texas Department of Public Safety. Shimon Prokupez, also in Uvalde. Shimon, I understand you got in contact with him as well. What did he say? Any news?
Well, Jim, just to give everyone the play-by-play here, just happened moments ago. You had Aaron Cooper, our producer out here, who was at his home, saw him leaving his home. So we went to the office where we assumed he was going, and sure enough, we were sitting in our car when he drove in. So we quickly ran out and confronted him.
He is an absolute thumb. This guy is pure thumb energy.
About your decision and what the DPS director said.
How's it going?
Good, I'm Pete. Nice to meet you.
Freeman, nice to meet you.
I want to talk to you about the decision and what
Department we're doing, but just to let y'all know, and I just spoke with
I know you did. But
you're not blocking me, are you?
No.
No.
Turn this way.
No, just so you all know. Just so you all know, obviously, we're not going to release anything. We have people in our community being buried, so we're going to be respectful.
I just want your reaction
we're going to be
the director McGraw saying that you were responsible for the decision
we're
to go into that room. How do you explain yourself to the
We're going to be respectful to the family.
I understand that, but you have an opportunity
to
explain yourself to the parents.
And just so you know, we're going to do that eventually, obviously.
When?
And whenever this is done, and let the families quit grieving, then we'll do that, obviously.
Quit grieving. Quit your grieving. When are you gonna get over your kid?
And just so everybody,
He's also like steamrolling him. Look how maybe a dozen times he starts off with "we're gonna." It's like a line he's rehearsed.
He ran out and confronted your decision and what the DPS director said.
How's it going?
Good, I'm Pete. Nice to meet you.
Freeman, nice to meet you.
I want to talk to you about the decision and what
Department we're doing, but just to let y'all know, and I just spoke with
I know you did. But
you're not blocking me, are you?
No.
Turn this way. No, just so you all know. Just so you all know, obviously, we're not going to release anything. We have people in our community being buried, so we're going to be respectful.
I just want your reaction
we're going to be
the director McGraw saying that you were responsible for the decision
we're
to go
gonna
into
be,
that room. How do you
we're
explain
gonna
yourself
be,
to
We're
the
going to be
parents?
respectful to the family.
I understand that, but you have an opportunity
to
explain yourself to the parents.
And just so you know, we're going to do that eventually, obviously.
When?
And whenever this is done, and let the families quit grieving, then we'll do that, obviously. And just so everybody knows, we've been in contact with DPS every day. Just so you all know.
They say They say that you're not cooperating.
I've been on the phone with them every day.
They say you're not cooperating.
Being on the phone is not cooperating.
Just so you know, we've been talking to them every day.
What is your reaction?
Y'all have a good day.
He's got someone to rescue him. This is dark, man. This is dark.
And Jim and Poppy, obviously, we gave him ample opportunity several times, asking him to address the accusations from the DPS about his involvement, about his decision making. He chose to dodge those questions, and as you can see, going inside his office, people came out to get him inside. We were the only ones there. We've been looking for him for days. For days, we've been looking for him. We've been reaching out to him, wanting him to respond to this community.
Hiding out.
People here very upset, obviously, over some of the decision making. And finally, my producer Matt Friedman and I, look, we went there. We wanted to ask him questions. He clearly is dodging some of the key questions in this, claiming that he's cooperating in this investigation. He claims he's going to address some of these questions at some point. We'll see.
Right. I don't know. That looks really bad. There's also this. Okay, we're done with that. Yeah, so the Uvalde police chief ignored follow-up interview request, Texas officials say. Texas officials have accused Uvalde's police chief of ignoring a follow-up interview request regarding a state probe into last Tuesday's mass shooting at Robb Elementary, the Austin American-Statesman reports. Driving the news, Uvalde and Uvalde CISD departments have been cooperating with investigators, end quote, said Texas DPS spokesman Travis Considine in a statement per the statement. Said in a statement per the Statesman. Quote, the chief of the CISD did an initial interview but has not responded to a request for a follow-up interview that was made 2 days ago. Quote, there have been interviews with both departments since Friday, Considine said, per the New York Times. Pete Arredondo, chief, has not met with Texas Rangers for a follow-up interview. The Texas Department of Safety has not returned a request for comment. Yikes. Yikes, yikes. And then there's this clip that's been going around. This is very strange and scary. This one's, I haven't seen it yet, but the few seconds really creep me out.
Pretty sad, all right?
Sorry, the context is several members of this biker club, Guardians of the Children, just followed, blocked, and surrounded me as I tried to approach the cemetery to meet a photographer. One member says they're working with police. Quote, they asked us to be here.
How's it going? How are you? Doing good. With Lubbock PD? Yes, sir. We're Guardians of the Children. We're a nonprofit 501c3. We work with victims of child abuse, sexual assault, things of that nature. Okay. We're out here to provide a little bit of comfort and support for the families, help give them some space, let them grieve in peace. Okay.
Right.
So, we just thought we'd come out, help some kids, help some families in need. How you doing today? Oh man, don't bump into me, dude.
I'm just trying to do my job, sir.
No, I understand, but
I'm sorry. You a police officer?
We're working with the police. I asked us to be here.
You're working with police?
No, we are here to give the family space and time to grieve.
I just got you on video saying you're working with police.
Over here by the gate for the cemetery.
Bro,
They definitely just saw an assault you.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
So no. I mean, I'm just trying to walk that direction.
It's assault.
That's battery, bro.
Say without permission. Technically, that's assault, and I'm a public servant, so.
You're a police officer?
Oh no, I'm not a police officer. I'm a paramedic.
Okay, got it. All right. Well,
but as a public servant, that's kind of a felony.
Look, I'm not trying to
disturb
anyone, guys. I'm not trying to ask anybody any question. I just wanted to watch. Like that's all we can do, and in a safe space, right? Like
I understand.
You're gonna watch it and record it?
I'm not like, and I know.
The cemetery itself has put out signs that says they do not want.
Yeah.
Yo, this is terrifying.
Pretty sad, all right?
Like, look, road is clear in front of him.
How are you? Doing good.
He's got a clear path.
Lubbock PD?
Yes, sir.
Police are right there.
So, yeah, we're Guardians of the Children. We're a
Literally
nonprofit
driving alongside.
501c3. We work with victims of child abuse, sexual assault, things of that nature.
Okay.
Say we're out here to provide a
this
little
is
bit of
creepy.
comfort and support for the families, help
Sure.
give them some space.
It's all about the kids,
let them
protect the
breathe in
children.
peace.
Okay.
So, we just thought we'd come out, help some kids,
Sure.
help some families in need. How you doing today? Oh man, don't
I'm sorry.
don't bump into me, dude.
I'm
like,
just
I
trying
mean,
to- I'm
Yeah,
just
he
trying to do my job,
definitely
sir.
I
walked
understand.
right into him.
Listen
Look
to
at
me.
this.
How you doing today? Oh man, don't
I'm sorry.
don't bump into me, dude.
I'm
like,
just
I
trying
mean,
to. I'm just trying to do my job, sir.
I understand, but
I'm sorry. You a police officer?
We're working with the police. I asked us to be here.
You're working with police?
No. We're here to give the family space
Oops.
and time to grieve.
I just got shown video saying you're working with police.
Oh man, she bites her words so hard. She knew she fucked up. She knew she fucked up right here.
We are here to give the family space and time to grieve.
I just got shown video saying you're working with police.
over here by the main gate for the cemetery.
Good thing fascists are stupid.
I definitely just saw him assault you.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. So
No.
was
I mean,
standing here and you ran into me.
I'm just trying to walk that direction.
It's assault. That's battery, bro.
Say without permission.
Battery.
Technically, that's assault, and I'm a public servant, so.
Are you a police officer?
Oh no, I'm not a police officer. I'm a paramedic.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it. All right. Well,
But
This
as a
place
public
open.
servant, that's kind of a felony.
look, I'm not trying to
Kind of a felony.
disturb anyone, guys. I'm not trying to ask anybody any question. I just wanted to watch. Like that's all we can do, and in a safe space, right? Like
I understand.
Watch it and record it.
I'm not
The
like, and I know.
cemetery itself
Absolutely.
has put out signs that says they do not want.
Well, I think what it's called is cry bullies. Like you go around like I'm being oppressed while you're like oppressing. You just like you say you co-opt the language of victimhood in order to commit violence. Like that's kind of the trend I've been noticing appear more and more and more. Okay, so Uvalde's picking up. It's gotten very strange, very secretive. It's odd that they're pairing up with apparently a biker gang or club. I don't know. I'm getting bad vibes. And in Ontario, in one of the elections with lowest turnout in Ontario history, Doug Ford wins a second majority.
Well, tonight, Ontario voted blue in its provincial election. The results, a big majority government for the Progressive Conservatives and re-election for Doug Ford as Premier. Ellen Morrow joins us from PC Campaign headquarters
Absolutely
in
devastating.
Toronto. So, Ellen, tell us about the results tonight.
Absolutely.
Well, Andrew, a
devastating.
huge victory for Doug Ford. It is the norm in Ontario politics for a government to be re-elected, but it is not the norm for the government to be able to expand its majority by so much in its second term. When the legislature
Yikes.
was dissolved, the PCs had 67 seats. They're now sitting at 83. So a triumph
Whoa,
for
what
Doug
the
Ford.
fuck?
There'll be a lot of analysis in the coming days about how he was able to do it, because remember back to the darkest days of the pandemic, he hasn't always been a very popular.
This guy sat on $4 billion during a pandemic and just didn't disperse it to the health industry. Like, honestly, the people who voted Conservatives hate teachers, hate nurses. They hate the things that keep society running. Like, it kills me. It kills me to watch the South, like, business elite just absolutely gut the social fabric that most people require. Yeah, I don't know what the song is. I don't know.
Premier, but
Probably DMCA
this
stuff.
campaign was dominated by issues like affordability, the cost of living,
I'm gonna be the man. And when I wake up, you know I'm gonna be. It's that song.
housing,
I would walk 5,000 miles. Eh?
and he was able to capitalize on those issues. Here's some of what Doug Ford had to say tonight.
Who's out of work, I want you to know we're building that road to the Ring of Fire.
I'm so disappointed in Ontario. So disappointed.
If you've had to worry about your job at the local auto plant, I want you to know we're investing in the future of Ontario's auto sector. If you're a student who wants to work in the tech sector,
Campaign on Get It Done. Like, come the fuck on.
we will have a job waiting for you.
Didn't even try.
And I was
Didn't even try. Like, I don't even understand.
And he said he's a known commodity, and that's important after the last 2 years.
Tonight's
Yeah.
results leave Ford's opponents.
Okay, this song is actually actually ruining this. So let's move to Andrea Horwath, who is stepping down as the leader. I hear the leader of the
Bonjour,
Liberals
chers amis.
also stepping down.
Thank you, Janelle Brady,
It's an absolute rout for the left. It's just so...
for that wonderful introduction and for all of your hard work as our party president.
Bro.
I want to begin by thanking every NDP candidate that stepped up and put their name on the ballot this election.
Oh, NDP, what are you doing?
You literally are the most impressive team of candidates that has ever been fielded ever in this province. I've never seen a team so smart, so accomplished, so diverse, and so dedicated, with so much energy and fight. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. And thank you to the thousands and thousands of folks that volunteered on our campaigns in every corner of Ontario.
How is she like in such a like hyped up mood? What the hell is this?
And thank you so much to the millions of Ontarians who made their voices heard in this election. They actually made their voices heard. To every Ontarian, regardless of who you voted for, thank you for caring. Thank you for...
Yo, the NDP and the Liberals made each other redundant. Like, they canceled each other out and handed the province over to right-oid conservatives. Ugh.
Caring about our province and our future. I'd like to take a minute to thank Stephen Del Duca, Mike Schreiner, and Doug Ford for representing...
Okay, all right, okay. You're literally thanking Doug Ford.
Medicine.
Stop.
Where we respect and value our incredible healthcare heroes.
None of that matters. You just lost power. You just lost. So, like, what? Oh my God, lady. What are you talking? Oh, I can't do it. There's nothing more painful than watching someone talk about all the communities we're going to protect and defend and support when you just lost the election in a what appears to be a landslide, what appears to be an absolute rout. Ugh.
The price is worse.
I can't do it. We're gonna move on. We're moving on, everybody. Politics is dead. News is over. We're gonna play Mon Bazou. Je vais conduire dans mon auto. It's gonna be lots of fun. We're gonna check out my pot farm. It's gonna be chill AF. So let's go do that instead. It seems like more fun than politics at the moment. My goodness, my gracious. If you're on YouTube, come join us over on twitch.tv/beweird. Otherwise, I'm ending the stream. Bye, YouTubers. See you later.